GM to YouTube. I like you. You're cute. All right. So I wanted to do like, we did the baby 300 raid. I wanted to do like very, very entry-level gear chambers guide. I based it off like the gear from my iron. Basically, this is stuff you would expect to have first before you like enter chambers, like at least this. So I'll talk about my gear first before we get into anything. We talked about this. Hosta and Whip are both very good. Both are good choices. Hosta is easier to get earlier, but it maxes lower. Hosta is really nice because it can crush, and we have Tekton in this raid. Tekton, you want a crush weapon. So Hosta is good for raids where you have Tekton. Raids where you don't have Tekton, Whip is very good. So it's like basically between Whip and Hosta what you bring. Fury is on purpose, and Eclipse Armor is on purpose, along with Barrow's Gloves, Dragon Boots, Berserker Ring. On an Iron, you want to kind of get like basic grinds done. Zenite grind, Warhammer grind, Moons grind, all of that you want done first. Just because Chambers is rough without those. Like you can technically, I think the Warhammer's the worst thing to grind here. You technically can do raids without it. It's really mainly for Tekton. Like Tekton is really bad without a hammer. You really want it for that. So that's the idea. Hammer's also amazing for Olm's hands. Melee hands just take way longer without a hammer. Hammer's like huge. Very, very good. You can do it without a hammer. If you weren't bringing a hammer, I'd bring something like Burning Claws in, I think, and just spam DPS specs, but like, you really want a hammer. Your raids will be like 5 minutes slower, I would say, without this, so. Common question people probably ask is, can I bring Fang? If you got spooned to Fang, do you bring Fang? Fang is a 5-tick weapon. To do Olm properly, you need a 4-tick weapon. You wouldn't want to bring Fang here. You could bring Fang in addition for certain rooms, like Fang Tekton, but you need a 4-tick weapon of some kind. Lance, Hosta, Whip, whatever it is. 4-tick weapon for Olm, specifically. So, Fang is a good, like, you can add it into the setup, but, like, it can't be your only weapon. And that's about it. So, Eclipse Armor has strength. Because I'm wearing this as my ranged armor, that means it's just 2-way for range, which is really nice. Very, very handy. And then I have 6-way for mage, which is just Blue Moon armor. Could maybe throw in the imbued God Cape. I think that's questionable. It's like 1 max hit, not a ton of accuracy. Up to you. You could turn it into a 7-way switch if you wanted to. Chambers has scouting. Okay? It's the only raid with scouts. So which bosses you get are random. The way this works is there's specific bosses you don't want. The bosses you don't want are based on the weapons you have. Okay, so you're gonna hear, if you've already tried to learn raids, you'll know that people are very afraid of V rooms. Anything with a V is like, oh, I can't do Vs. Those are scary. All right, here's the deal with the V rooms. Okay, that's Vanguards, Vespula, and Vasa, okay? Vanguards is just it's a slow room. I'd say Vanguards is the hardest regular room, and you probably just don't want to do it if possible, okay? So in general, yeah, that's a bad V room. Vanguards is hard, and it takes a long time. Vasa and Vespula, on the other hand, are incredibly fast. They're actually the fastest rooms if you have good weapons. T-bow, Shadow, which you probably don't have. So as a baby learner, you're probably not doing those rooms. If you have a Bofa, if you're using a Bofa setup, which I'm assuming we don't have in this case, you can do those rooms, and they're pretty good. So I'm going to do it right after this, assuming you have Bofa. If you don't have Bofa, it's okay. You can still do chambers, okay? When you're scouting raids, you enter your clan shot, you make the party at the board, enter the raid. These stairs have been updated semi-recently, like 6 months ago, so that you can reload right here. And I'm not going to show it because I like this raid, but if you hit reload, it'll ask you, do you want to reload? You hit yes, and it'll redo the raid. And you can do it over and over and over until you get something you want. What raid do you want? What do you want to see? Overloads early. Certain bosses drop overloads. And they drop the best tier variant. So there's 3 tiers of overload. To make the best tier of overload, you need 90 herb, which you're probably not going to have. You've got to get overloads from the bosses. Your options for overload are all of those Vs, Muttadile, and Tekton. So typically, you probably wouldn't do this raid, but I'm doing it to show them both Muttadile and Tekton. You'll take one of these. That's the idea. That's like your ideal raid. There's 2 possible rotations the game can give you, and it can only choose from these 2. So my raid is Muttadile, Tekton, and Mystics. So there's only 2 possibilities. So sometimes when you're scouting, Runelight is going to tell you unknown. It doesn't know what the rooms are. The game needs 2 combat rooms to tell you what the whole raid is. There's a plugin called Raid Reloader, which adds a little button on the side. Basically, Runelight can only see what's rendered. So if you run up closer to the entrance and hit Reload Raid, you're going to go connection lost a second, and it's going to, boom, you can see a little bit more of the map. See how I can see into Olm? So you can use that sometimes to clear up the unknowns if the first room looks good. Like, let's say you have Muttadile and a bunch of unknowns, then you might want to go look around and see if you can see into it. The red and green, you can make it This is the Chambers of Xeric plugin. You can go type into both the whitelisted rooms section and the blacklisted rooms section. But let's say I want Muttadile, right? I'm going to take it off the blacklist. I'm going to put it in the whitelist. Muttadiles. Now it turns green. Okay? So you can put any rooms that you're never going to do, ever. Let's say you don't have Bofa. You're not going to do those V rooms. You type in the blacklist Vanguards, Vesp, Vasa. They'll turn red. You see red, oh, reload the raid. It lets you scout really, really fast. Before you go in a raid, there's a couple things you want to know. First of all, there's items that you want based on what rooms there are. There's specialty items. And these items are a pickaxe if there's guardians. You need a pickaxe to kill them. A salve for mystics because they're undead. A lockpick for thieving. And you don't need to bring this. I have Muttadiles first. You're going to chop a tree in there. You need an axe. There is actually an axe in the room and you can take it. All right, so my plan on this raid, I've got kind of a rough plan for what I'm going to do when I go through this raid. Muttadile is the first room. I have a bronze axe. Hey, Gnomonkey, why don't you use a good axe? Because axe here does nothing. Pickaxe does matter. Axe doesn't matter. Axe does nothing. So you want to use the lowest tier of axe so you can just drop it. Woodcutting level does matter. Oh, runes as well. We're on Thralls. There is a lot of reasons to use different spellbooks in this raid. This is one of the few raids you don't just use Thrall by default. Thralls are really good for learning solo Olm. We'll get into that. But Thralls basically make Olm easier. When I kill Muttadile, he's going to drop an overload. So I just need 1 doses. So I'm going to go in and sip these and kill it. And I'm going to pick up his overload. And I'm going to immediately sip that, and my stats are going to be boosted the rest of the raid. So that's why we don't need multi-dose. I just need 1 sip. Okay, I think we're good to go. No wait. No wait. We're going. I'm clicking boss. Common pre-pot. Sip stamina before you go in. I could even wait on the pre-pot and just not sip these. It's fine. Okay, when you go in the raid, you're going to hit start raid. And just 1 yes. Click. Okay, so here's Mudda Room. We are going to run straight over to this tree. Drop an item. And start chopping. Now we're looking for an XP drop. And between each XP drop, you can throw, because this doesn't interrupt your chopping whatsoever. So you can look for an XP drop. And throw this at Mudda. You're going to pray melee when he gets close.
A leech has spawned.
Look for the XP drop. Waiting. The damage you do to the tree and the amount of times you land hits is all based on your woodcutting level. So you want to just look at that. If Mudda gets below 50% health, he's going to heal off this tree. So we don't want that. So we'll throw one more time. And we're going to off Mudda. Now we're just waiting for the tree to chop. Usually you're going to take a lot of damage here because he randomly is going to range you. So I'm going to eat and start throwing. I'm going to grab this brew. Okay, because I pre-potted, I don't need these, but you probably sip these here. One of the things you can do with Outladdle is do 2 throws, step under until you're off cooldown. You'll only take 1 hit to 2 of yours. It's kind of nice. And we're going to slam a brew, pick up his overload and enhance, sip the overload, and come over here. This is typically going to be a safe spot for you. It depends on your layout, though. So I know this is a safe spot because her southwest tile is like this. So it's going to depend on where the southwest is. Don't walk in melee range of Mama Muttadile. She can one-shot you. That's bad. Occasionally, she's going to do that animation and do mage attacks instead. She does a minimum of 3 mage attacks before ranged, so you can pray mage for 3 attacks and then swap back to ranged. Sometimes she just spams mage, though. It happens. And just be ready to spam brew. Mudda is a very high damage room. You take a lot here. All right, we did it. That's Muttadile. Okay, the other thing I'm going to want here is Xerix and Revite. And what you can also do is sip these from the earlier boss and pick up fresh ones if you want. Typically, it doesn't matter, but... Okay, my next room is Tekton. So basically, at the beginning of a raid, you're either going to do this room or Tekton. You're going to run up next to him. He's going to get off his anvil. You're going to run to the back of the room. You're going to hammer twice, and then you're going to start Hosta crushing as you run around him. So you're going to kind of run up next to him to grab his attention. You can summon a melee thrall. And run down here. Hammer. Okay. Here's how Tekton works. It's super confusing because his attacks aren't actually where they look like they are. He's always 1 cycle behind. So when he turns to me like this, he's actually attacking over there. It's very buggy looking. So what I'm doing is I'm basically baiting out a second attack on the side that's going to hit me and then running around him. You basically are just going to run around him and hit him if you like don't understand how that's working. But I'm just showing you like the proper way to do it. Ow! Pray melee, by the way. He hits hard. So I bait out the second attack, and then I run around him. Bait out a second attack, run around him. And Tekton is gonna die, please, I swear. Oh, you just had to make content. You really just had to. Okay. All right. If I didn't have hammer, this could take upwards of 6 anvils. Okay? So this is like your biggest time loss with no anvil. That's why I say probably grind it first. Ah, we got him. Okay, cool. And he's gonna drop a Revite and some other pots. I don't really care about those. I have what I need. If you happen to have the style of shortcut this is, it could be a rock, a tree, or a boulder you push, which doesn't require any tool. If it was a tree there, I could have chopped it. It gives you a little bit of points, and it's a little bit faster, so that's always nice. Okay, we're going to do crabs. This is the bane of every learner's existence. Okay, this is the crabs room. We're going to put our staff on long range. This is also bad crabs, which means it takes longer and is harder, because the room is more awkward. We're going to sip a stamina, and we're going to grab all of the crabs. A change relatively recently as well is that you can grab them all in one tick. Just like that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hammer one here. We're going to hammer one here. Okay. Come here, you. And we're going to start coloring these crystals like this. Oops, one higher. Come here, you. Okay, we're going to run back down and hammer them after this. They stay hammered for 50 game ticks. So we're going to run back down and do that. Okay, so basically I'm just lining them up with the crystal and then coloring it the right color. And this should last long enough that I can get the mage off. And then we're done. And that's it. When you do crabs, it's going to be the worst thing ever, and you're going to hate everything. I'm just telling you. This happens to everybody. Get the crab solver plugin, and basically the way you do crabs can be the same every time. You're just going to slowly get a feel for it. All right, let's re-overload. We're about to do a combat room, and I'm going to spam brew. Okay, I'm going to enter Mystics. Mystics, okay? How do you do Mystics? Mystics mage you, primarily. Unless you run in melee range of them. Then they can choose to melee you. 50-50 chance if you're close to them. Okay? So I'm going to run near this one. And he's going to start trying to melee me. Like that. I'm going to run next to this one. Okay. This one's stuck. He's trying to mage me. This one's trying to melee me. This one's also trying to melee me. Every time you attack them, they have a chance to get out of melee mode and start maging you again. So, I have this one stuck next to me. And he's flipping back and forth between mage and melee, basically. All right, so I'm going to step back out. This one's still trying to melee me. This one is trying to mage me. So I'm going to run in range of this one and get him to flip to melee mode. All right, now he's in melee mode. All right, and that's it. So now I'm going to trap both of these. As long as I don't attack this one, he's going to just stare at me and not mage me. He's trying to get over to punch me. That's what he's trying to do. As I attack this one, he's going to flip back and forth occasionally. He'll get a mage off every once in a while, but he's flipping back and forth between the two. Or not. Sometimes you just kill them, and they don't do that. Okay, I'm going to let this one closer, and I'll start attacking him. Okay, I attacked him. Did he get out of melee mode? He did not. He stayed. So it's all RNG rolls, basically. But that's how it works. Always stand at the corner of their tile. So I'm doing a corner trap. If you've done Inferno, you know how this works. Okay? They're trying to walk west into this. So if they're trying to punch you, he's trying to go west into this because monsters want to go west or east before they go north or south. So he can't actually get to me because he's trying to punch me. So the only time he hits me is if he's maging me. So we're basically just doing, you're running through the room to get them all trying to punch you, and then corner trapping them one by one and killing them. So you're not tanking a bunch of damage. That's the idea. See, he just got a mage off. So he'll mage for a bit, and then he'll stop maging. He'll start trying to punch, like he was doing there. So that's how that works. Okay, Mystics drop seeds. I want Boot You. Boot You lets you make supply potions. It lets you make restore and brew. So I want this. This is Thieving. They made these stack relatively recently as well. So first thing you do when you get in this room is just start hitting them. With this room, it scales based on your thieving. You get more grubs sometimes based on higher thieving. So I'm going to get 2 every time, sometimes 3. If your thieving is lower, you'll get 1, sometimes 2. Okay, that's how this works. So you just open chests as you go and dump these in. It's depending on your thieving when you want to dump them in. I would deposit around 15 or so grubs in your inventory if you're lower thieving. If you're really high thieving, like almost 99, I think it's 95 is the break point. The grub counter up here is going to tell you how many grubs you've deposited total. Once you're at 30 total, it's done. The room is over. And that's it. I've done the whole raid, and now it's just home. Not too bad. You can get through it pretty quickly. So the whole thing with the raid is going to be learning how to do Olm more so than anything. Olm is the hard part of the raid. The regular raid is pretty easy in comparison to get through. These pools you run by can give you energy. If you want to avoid using stamina on an iron, you can always hit those. It's definitely helpful. Oh, I'm dumb. Okay. I just ran past scavs, okay? Because we need to plant this buchu. That's the herb we're going to need to make potions that restore our stats, or that give us health and prayer. And we're going to go back and kill this scav. Scavs drop the secondaries for the potions. And we're looking for, what do I need going into Olm? Let me look at my inventory. I have a ton of restore, okay? You don't need that much restore. It's like 3 restore tops for Olm, okay? So I have 4.5. We're good on restore, right? What do I need? I need brews. What makes brews? Juice. This stuff makes brews. This stuff, these mushrooms, make restores. So figure out what you need. Do you need restores? Pick some of these up. Do you need brew? Pick some of these up. I don't need restores, so I'm not picking that up. That's it. And how much brew do I really need? I like to fill my inventory with brew. It's an overload and enhance, about 3 restores, and the rest brew. So we want like 12 brew because I have a lot of space. And I had like 5 brew. So something like this much. Should be good. Grab the juice. And you can make these while running to save a bit of time. Okay, I'm going to keep my inventory in order, so I'll drop these. And deposit everything I don't need for Olm. So this 2 dose, this 1 dose, or this 4 dose. I'm going to equip my hammer. Don't need the salve. Okay, I got a spare brew. Perfect. We can do pile. Okay, when you're looking for scavs and stuff, trying to plan, these letters here tell you what each room is going to be. So beyond just the bosses, there's also rooms in between them. So right now, this says the first room is farming. The second room is scavs. Third room is combat, which is Muttadile. Fourth room is a combat room again, which is Tekton. Scavs again. Puzzle, which is crabs. Combat room, which is mystics. Puzzle room, which is thieving. And then scavs at the end and farming at the end. So when you see scavs and farming at the end, you know, like, you don't have to worry about that. Sometimes your scavs will be behind, like, the puzzle, and it's kind of annoying. You probably want to scav before you get to this puzzle, right? So you kind of want to be keeping track of that so you don't have to run all over the place, right? You also want to keep track of what gives you seeds, okay? Mystics gives you seeds. Guardians give you seeds. Shamans give you seeds. At some point, you need to grab seeds. You can also get seeds from raking these weeds. You need 2 Buchu seeds at some point. So if you can get seeds early in the raid, you want to grab this. I'm going to make a pile. This is a cute little, like, noob tactic. You don't do this when you're, like, better. But this is a thing you can do. So you drop a brew and a restore. We'll drop the regular restore. Olm, before we go in. Okay. Olm is the hard part of the raid. In solo, it's much, much harder than in teams. Most people are going to learn in teams. I'm doing this solo for, like, a flawless teaching experience, okay? Olm has a lot of stuff you have to deal with that's more difficult in solo versus teams because teammates can do things to the boss that make it easier. I have a ton of tile markers in here. Pay attention to just the yellow tiles for now, okay? Tiles that matter. Olm can spawn on either side of the arena, and he's going to flip back and forth through the fight. So if he spawns here, it's random which side. If he spawns here, he'll be here for phase 2, and he'll be here for phase 3. So if Olm is here, okay, his mage hand is here, his head is here, and his melee hand is here. Olm has a mechanic where his head is what attacks you, and it can only attack you if it sees you. And his line of sight is like this. Okay? If you're out of his line of sight, he can't attack you, so what he does instead is turns towards you. So he'll replace an attack with turning towards you. All right? He has very narrow field of view. He cannot see. So the way that works is he can turn this direction, straight, or this direction, okay? He knows if you're not in his line of sight, he knows you're in one of the other two, okay? Because his field of view covers everything with those 3 positions. You're in one of the other 2, okay? This is the limits of his field of view, okay? This is his far view. So if he's staring middle or this direction, from here he can't see you and he can't attack you. Okay? Same for this side. This is the end the opposite way. This direction and this direction. Ohm doesn't know if he can attack you from the middle or the far sides, right? The way he knows if you're on the far side is if you're attacking his hand and if you're doing damage to it. So let's say he's turned this way and he can't see you. And ow! Something just hit my mage hand. Ohm turns all the way over here. The full way. Okay? If nobody hits his hand and you're not in his field of view when he's looking this way, Ohm just goes, I don't fucking know, I'll just turn middle. I have no clue where he is. Okay? So, if you're attacking the hand on the opposite side of his field of view, he turns all the way over. If you don't, he turns middle. This is important for soloing. This is very important. Okay? This dictates what's going to happen. Remember that Thrall spellbook I talked about? How it helped with Ohm? These guys ignore defense. Okay? If you miss, Ohm doesn't go, ow, my hands! Okay? This Thrall hits almost every time. 3 out of 4 times the Ohm attacks, it's going to make his hands go, ow! Okay? So, if you have a Thrall attacking the hand that you're trying to kill, Ohm is never going to turn middle. Basically never. He's always going to turn the full way. That makes him predictable. Okay? And we can exploit that. I'll show how soloing works, kind of. We're avoiding him ever seeing us, basically. We want the minimal amount of time that Ohm can see as possible. Every time he sees you, he's going to hit you. We don't like getting hit, right? There's 2 methods. There's 2 things that we're going to be using, okay? A method called 4-0 with mage, and a method called 4-to-1 with melee. What does that mean? You've heard this before. What is a 4-to-1? What the heck is a 4-to-1? I never heard of that. What the heck is that? 3-0? I'm sorry, it's 3-0. I just call it mage hand because, like, that's what it is. That's what you do when you mage the hand. Melee hand has a bunch of different methods. Maging is 3-0. Melee is 4-to-1. The first is amount of hits you get in the cycle. So that first number, let's say for maging, 3 hits. The second number is how many hits Ohm gets in that cycle. In this case, 0. So that means when you're maging, you do 3 hits per cycle, and he never hits you. I get 4 hits. That's the 4 and 4-to-1. I get 4 hits to every 1 hit Ohm gets per cycle. Okay? Which is good. Normally it would be 4-to-4. That's bad. You don't want to get hit every hit. Ohm can do a lot of things when he attacks you. He doesn't just do attacks, he does other things. It's in a cycle as well. His attacks are in a cycle. You can remember this with Anus. Anus. Ohm does attack, null, attack, special. Anus. Very easy to remember. A leech has spawned. This is going to be really important for 4-to-1. Okay? He has a 4 attack cycle. That means I get to pick which attack he's going to hit me with. You know what I don't want him to hit me with? The special attack. Because those fucking suck. Those suck really bad. You know those portals? Those portals that drag you across to Timbuktu? You don't want those. You don't want those. Special attacks are bad. We want to avoid those. We want to get hit. We want to take the hit on the part of it. The very beginning of Anus. Okay? That's when we want to take the hit. I'll kind of explain 4-to-1 as we do it, I think. But remember Anus. Just use tip for the Anus. Got it. Yeah, exactly. Use your tip for the Anus. Yes. Rule of thumb. Haha, we're going to be talking about the thumb later. Rule of thumb with Ohm. We're going to enter with hammer on for each phase. Every time you phase the boss, you're going to put hammer on and hammer him. All right? Then we're going to mage every time, except for last phase because I have a trick for it. When you do too much damage to the melee hand while the mage hand is alive, he can clench and it stops being able to be attacked. You can't attack it anymore. So you always want to kill the mage hand first. Except for on the last phase. We'll get into that. The last phase doesn't do that. Cool. All right? So we need to kill the mage hand first, then the melee hand. But you can get your hammer off at the beginning. Okay? So you want to just open with a hammer, start maging. Another thing, before you enter Ulm, put this on accurate. For the love of God, put it on accurate. I can't tell you how many people I know that have been so confused at Ulm why nothing is working, and it's because they didn't do this. Put it on accurate. If it's on long range, you can't do it. You can't kill Ulm. It's got to be on accurate. Okay? And you'll see why in a second. All right? Let's do the thing. I have a brew and a restore on the ground. Okay, so when you enter Ulm, if you want it to be easier, you can overload, heal that full health back, and then restore after. Okay? This requires you make an extra restore and a brew, and it requires you waste time. So, when you get good, and you don't need to do this, don't do this. I see people that do this into the 500 KC region. Don't do that. Okay? Does accurate matter for Shadow too? It does? That's a whole different can of worms. Okay, I just need to sip one time for the restore. We're good. Pick that up. All right. Go to the middle of the room, drop a brew, summon a mage thrall. And hammer. If your hammer misses, hammer again. If they both miss, cry. Okay. I'm forcing Ulm to turn his head this way. And what you're going to do, I'm going to do this for a second. You want to get a feel for how the head turns. He has a 4-tick attack cycle, okay? So you need to learn the timing of when exactly he's going to turn. This is a tick-perfect cycle, what I'm doing right now, but he can never, ever hit you. All right? And we're going to abuse that. That's why we need our weapon on accurate. You can move and get dragged in the same... You can attack and get dragged the same tick. So you can move while attacking if it drags you. So that means we can do this. And never get seen. So that's the crux of what makes 3.0 work. Okay? So we're just getting dragged over and over and doing this. All right? To get into this cycle, you need to go to this tile and click the instant he turns his head. All right? So like that. So you have to preempt it, click at the same time. And this is a thing you just get a feel for over time. This is probably the hardest thing to learn at the start. Okay? I'm glad I have 2 staminas. I can run back and forth a lot. This is good. So one of those possible things that I talked about with the turning middle, if he turns middle, he's going to get a hit on you, right? So this is why having a thrall is so nice, because every time the thrall hits, it's good enough to turn his head. So I just splashed there, right? But the thrall hit a 1, so he's going to turn. Normally, I'd take a hit there. So that's why thralls are so, so nice for this. The same applies to melee hand as well. If you miss with your Hosta at points, you take extra damage, and it's awkward. Okay, I killed the hand. All right, let's do this for a second. All right. Running back and forth. We're going to do a different method, and 4-1 is a lot harder than 3-0. Okay? I've explained this in like a short, and we've gone over it. 4-1 is the bane of people's existence. It's the hardest thing for people to do. Here is how you do 4-1. Okay? You just killed that mage hand. Woo! I killed the mage hand! Yay! What are we going to do after that? We're going to go to the thumb right here. Okay? And we're going to react to what he does. So let's do it. Go to the thumb. We're going to wait until he attacks and then click. I hit a 0, so return middle. I got acid. That's a good showcase for some bullshit that can happen. What do you do when that happens? Walk it off. You don't know how to deal with it? Walk it off. It's okay. You can do this from anywhere in the room? That's incredibly unlucky. That's probably the worst thing that can happen. Let's do it again, shall we? Run to the thumb. Wait for an attack. Click it. All right. I see how it is, dude. Okay. Now let's do this a little longer this time so that doesn't happen. Is this my speed run? Yeah, this is average. This can happen, and it's infuriating. It's infuriating. This is what happens to people. They stop following the rules when things go wrong, okay? Don't stop following the rules when things go wrong, okay? When things go wrong, what do? Anytime you get pulled out of your cycle, what do? Get back in cycle. How do you do that? Go to the thumb. Wait for an attack. Click. How do I keep splashing on that hit? That's okay. All right, I'm in 4-1. Okay, let me explain that. What you're looking for the auto into 4-1 is him attacking you and then just staring at you like this. Remember anus? Remember I talked about anus? Attack.
A leech has spawned.
Null. Attack. Special. Right? That's what's happening. I am tanking only the first hit. Okay? So to get into 4-1, you're looking at 2 attacks for what he's doing and reacting based on that. If you get lucky like this, you're automatically in 4-1 by default. You just run to the left and drag him. Oh, here's an acid run for fun. If you get acid when you're learning, you're probably just going to walk it off and get back in cycle like I just said. Okay. All right. That's one example of getting into 4-1. There is a lot of possible things that happen as you try to get into 4-1, okay? That's the easiest. That's by far the easiest if that happens, okay? I'll show a bunch this time. Between phases, if you don't have a Sang, you want to spam Brew because you're not going to heal any other time and you're not attacking the boss, so brewing down is less bad. Let's hammer. Wow, 3 missed hammers in a row. This is just truly the average Olm of all time. Oh, we hit one, though. You see how it crippled? I can't attack that hand now. Attack. Attack. Okay, we're in 3-0. Okay, this is Flame Phase. Explain we start Mage first. I did that like 3 times! I know it's already done! I did that! I promise. We're good. We're good. We're good. I missed it. It's okay. I was pooping. Dude. How are you trying to backseat while pooping? Okay. I was watching with volume off. You gotta have the silent poops. 3-0 is very simple. It's always going to be the same. There's no cycles you're worrying about because you're not taking any hits. There's nothing special going on. But with 4-1, you have some things that can happen. Okay, let me talk about this. You walk up to the thumb. You wait for an attack. You click the hand. You wait for 2 attacks and then you run. Possible things that can happen. He attacks you and then he does nothing. Right? That's what happened last time. That means you're in 4-1 by default. You could see him attack and then attack again, okay? If that happens, you run to the left, you drag and do a hit, you do a hit here, and then you do 1 more hit on the thumb and you run. So you do a 3-1. You do 1 less hit. Then you can start doing 4-1 after that. That'll fix the cycle. The other possibility is he does a special. We'll see if that comes up this time. Okay, we want him to turn all the way to the right. Step, attack. 2 attacks. Look, he did nothing. Okay, so that would put me in 4-1. Let's do it again, because that's exactly what happened last time. Wait for an attack. Click the hand. Special. Okay, if there's a special, and there's no flame wall put in your way. There's so much to explain with Olm, and he's so annoying. Okay, hold on. Go to the thumb. Wait and attack. He did nothing. Dude, you're being annoying. That would put me in 4-1. Go to the thumb. Attack. He did nothing. Right, because I didn't change the cycle at all. Let's do this a second. Okay. Go to the thumb. He didn't attack. He does nothing. I swear to God. That's a special, but it's portal, so you can't deal with that. I'm gonna lose it. Crystals! Beautiful. He's gonna do an attack. And now he's gonna do the nothing. So if he does a special attack, you wait on the thumb 2 attacks. And now we're in cycle. Beautiful. Can I do it one more time? I want the double attack. Okay, dude. I'm never gonna get it because I'm not... Here, this should fix it. Sometimes he'll attack you twice like he just did. And a flame wall won't be in your way. And then you want to do 3 hits instead of 4 hits to fix it. So you're in 4-1. Almost toxic. He, like, doesn't want me to teach. Okay, I have a trick on this phase. We're going to do another raid after this, and I'll explain it just the same way. Do a melee there. Do a melee here. And run as he turns. You're in 4-1 by default. Which is really nice. Okay. Those flame walls are a big problem people deal with. Okay. On this side, if you tank the hit on the pinky, because on phase 3 he can do all the specials. If you tank there, he cannot flame wall you. There's not enough room, so it'll null it. So if you tank the hit here on flame phase, it won't ever hit you. Hey, look, a cool bomb. I wonder if I take 80 damage. Oh, just 30 instead of 45. Could be worse. For this phase, we need to kill both at the same time. So I don't want to hit this too much more. Probably that much would be good. I splash there and don't have a thrall up, so I know he turns middle. I'm going to tank 1 hit. Hey, that was a flame wall. So by being in the middle, which is also the case, if you're in the middle, it also can't flame wall you. So that's what that was. That same thing would happen if you were standing here when you tank the hit. If you're a noob and dealing with getting trapped in flame, how do you get out? Okay. We can go over flame skips. If you don't want to learn those and you don't know yet how to deal with flame walls, you can just bring a watering can. It's actually not bad. It's 8 flame wall escapes. So this is an option. If you're learning early, bringing a watering can may be worth it. If you tank more than 2 flame walls in a kill, it can save you a brew. Okay, when we kill this, we're going to want to kill the melee hand quickly. He adds a 4th special attack in the 3rd phase, where his melee hand has a heal aura on it, where you can't damage it and the damage dealt heals it. If he does that here, it's going to be really bad. We don't want that. He didn't do it. We're so lucky. Okay, now we're going to swap to ranged. Summon a ranged thrall. And basically, for this, you're going to do the same thing as you did earlier. Just move the instant his head turns from the side. Like that. That's going to make it so you tank hits in the middle every time. And that's going to make it so if you take a flame wall, it's not going to hit you. You're also taking the minimum amount of hits from Olm. Olm hits really hard in this phase. This max it is a bit higher. Ah! I'm playing bad. There we go. Atlattl's a bit better than Rune Crossbow. I checked before the raid. If you have the full outfit, which is really nice. So if you're doing moons before coming to Chambers, it's a really nice outfit to bring, because you can also just use it as your melee armor. So that's the idea here. This is why we're using that. The effect of full Eclipse set is that it adds that burn damage you see, the orange hit splats. That burn damage is 10 per stack total. So it hits him 10 times. So each time you see that set effect proc, it's another 10 damage. See, we're getting 5 burn procs. There's a lot of damage. Big mistake I see people make on head phase is running too fast. If you're standing on this tile, as he turns to middle, he won't turn middle, he'll turn all the way to the side instead. You'll take an extra hit. So don't do that. Don't go early. Wait for his head to be about to turn, and then run. Bomb! All right, we got him. We ended with 5 brew left. Kind of chilling. Diamond's blood runes. Okay, not bad. All right, I explained everything. That was still only a 40-minute raid in this gear. So you can definitely raid in this. For sure. Let's go back in and try to get a Bofa Raid. And then we'll explain Olm again the same way. Look at him. Arr, 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 arr. Hi. Mwah. He's getting bigger? Yeah. And his teeth are too. Oh, no. We're back for round 2. We have a different raid this time. And different gear. Okay? We're doing... And if you have Bofa Raid, okay? This is one you can potentially do. Bofa is good for Vespula and Vasa. They changed these rooms kind of recently. Recently-ish. So that they drop overload. They used to not. So this raid was actually basically a raid you couldn't do before. Now this is one of the best speed raids possible. This is roughly what world record runs, is a VSV. Same kind of thing. We're running in with Bofa. And I'm using Blue Moon as my armor this time for melee. So this is melee and mage. Both of those. The cool thing about Vespula is that if you have Bofa, it's actually better DPS than a T-Bow. It's very tanky and it just cuts right through that. So it's actually very solid for Vespula. And it's good enough on Vasa. T-Bow is better on Vasa, but Bofa works well enough. So we have a couple weird items we're bringing besides the armor and the weapons. Peanut is also for Vasa. Vasa bombs you at the start of the room and takes all your health. Peanut gives it back, right? So this just gives you a chunk of health. Very nice. Very nice for Vasa. You don't need it for Vasa, but it's very nice. We're going to pre-pot. So important things to know with this raid. First of all, we're doing Shamans this time. Shamans poison you, so we need an antidote. If you're confident you're not going to take a million years to get through the raid, antidote lasts 12 minutes, I believe. You should kill Shamans by 12 minutes, theoretically. You should probably be done with the whole raid by 12 minutes, hopefully. Or something's going very wrong. If you're not feeling safe, and you're like, I don't have the time, you can replace a restore with a Sandfew, or just bring an anti-poison. Sandfew also acts as anti-poison, so. Little known fact, Voss is weak to Crush, and you can drain his defense. Hammer's really good. We'll do that. Why not? Kitchen, don't grab wires, dude. Say hi to stream. Say bye to stream. This way, my friend. All right, back to the water bottle. There we go. Okay. We're going to pot. And I'm just bringing a bunch of food because Vespula is going to take all my health away. And I want to be able to heal up and pick up her pots after. Okay, Vespula's up here. We're going to just shoot the portal with our Bofa. So there's this green tile. It's this left corner of that square. Every time. So you're going to go here. And start shooting. With Bofa, the instant you reach this tile, you can shoot again. So it's actually really difficult to do this. It's fine if you're not taking enough damage that you're redempting yet. But once you have to start throwing in restore doses with this, it gets a little awkward. Kind of like this. Yeah, see, I missed a prayer there. It's really awkward. Is he dead? Vespa's dead. So you see how fast Vespula dies. Like, it's a little hectic and awkward at first, but, like, it just dies. Let's grab all the pots. I'm going to ditch the brew and take the enhance. Okay, so we bring that guy over, hammer him. Get this one back on us. I fucked up. No! Okay, if you ever mess up, you can always just tank the orb. Oh, it went in the corner there. That's kind of convenient. Okay. Stand to the side of the crab like this once you have it lined up. And then the other one can't get off you, which is good. So same thing here. I hope they stay in place because I was messing around. You would. You would do that. We hate crabs! Sorry. Oh, I hate... Oh, those pesky crabs! I hate them! Oh, all right. You know what? Now I'm pissed. Crabs is a hard room, okay? It's a very difficult room. We're going to go back and hammer these. Rehammer. I didn't... Yep, okay, you come here. And step here. All right. There we go. So I get him on me and out of the way. Gee whiz, I hate crabs. All right, we got it colored. There we go. It was a challenge. If you managed to do crabs without tilting and leaving the raid, good on you. I'm proud of you. Next, we're going to do Shamans. So let's hit an overload. You can actually redempt off overload. So if you notice that you're like kind of low prayer and you're like 50-ish health, you can redempt off it. It's a good way to get some health back. Let's brew back. That right there is a reason it's bad, crabs. Exactly. That's the example we wanted to show is why it's bad. Big thing with Shamans is stay next to the wall, always. Stay adjacent to a wall. If you are next to a wall, they cannot jump. If they cannot jump, you can keep shooting them. The other thing is move 3 tiles every time they do their attack animation. So 1, 2, 3. Move 3 tiles. Move 3 tiles. Move 3 tiles. Ideally, stay out of range of the next one until you're like at least close to killing that first one. Because when 2 are on you, it's a little awkward. Show out a safe spot. ZBA. You shouldn't be safe spotting. Safe spotting is trolling. It slows your raid down, and it's easy enough to just kill them. Like that. Okay, we're entering Vasa. We're going to equip our P-neck. When you enter the room, she's going to teleport you. When you get teleported, she scans you. What's your health at? Beep, 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 beep. Mine's at 94. She then hits you. Whatever that health was, -5. If you heal up after you get teleported, you'll have some health. So you can always just heal after this. You can't move or do anything during this part. So you're going to spam click. You can't even pray. All right, ding, ding, ding is a P-neck. Okay, when she walks towards you, she's going to trample you like that. If you pray melee, you take less damage. You don't have to, though. Oh, you killed it. Oh, that's annoying. That's going to be hard for the bod. It's back. Okay. I was downloading. Hedron took us off, but I poked that crystal. So much. So many times I poked it. I forgot to hammer. There's no way. I'm going to hammer Vasa. It's good. Just don't do it at the end. Oops. You didn't hammer. I'm so sad, dude. I'm so sad. My Vasa's been ripped. Semi-F again? I show full everything. We're good. Might need to refresh. Okay. The thing with Vasa, she's going to go to crystals over and over. You're going to kill them. After roughly the 3rd crystal, she's going to be done with the crystals and heal off them and go to the middle and do another bomb. And that'll just repeat. So you just want to keep that in mind. We get a new overload here. And we just have Ice Demon left. I don't have an axe, so I can't chop that. So when your overload expires, it's going to give you health back, so I'm keeping that in mind right now. I want 2 spaces to carry these, so I'm just going to spam my restore here. So I can carry these 2 items. And then we can chop on the way there. Per chop, you can actually move 3 tiles if you move as soon as the XP drop happens. This is a 5-tick chop cycle. So you can move between chops and get up here if you want to. Nice little optimization. Okay, so for Ice Demon, you're going to fill 3 braziers. You fill the first one with as much as you can, at least 24 kindling. The most you can hold is 28. So you're filling the first one with as much as you can. The second one the same way. At least 24. And then the 3rd brazier is just a little bit more. I usually fill it with about 10. So almost 28, and then 10. And then the boss will be done. And we're good. Can drop the axe now. I'm going to drop the tinderbox after lighting. And we shall both. I could probably go back to get the brew now if I wanted to, now that it's done, but this is okay. Thrall hits a tiny bit on Ice Demon. You can summon it. You could choose not to, though, and I wouldn't knock you for it.
A leech has
Thrall hits a 1 in every 4 hits, I think. Yeah, it's like when it would hit a 3, it hits a 1. Otherwise, it's a 0. Okay, Ice Demon is on a 3-tick attack cycle. So you're moving every time he does this animation. Unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't show the animation, so you can't just go off that. So you kind of get a feel for this. But it's this kind of thing. You need to move 2 tiles because it's an AoE attack. So you just run like this. We need to pray ranged, because if you don't pray ranged, it's going to mage you sometimes, and you do not want to get maged. Hammer on ice? Yeah, I should have. I should have, yeah. It's okay. 7 juice? Yeah, this should be enough. If I was smart, I'd have got seeds at Shamans. This is okay, though. We will go rake. And then you can rake this patch. It'll give you a random seed. We just need Buchu. My antidote's running out right now, by the way. So that's your timing on that. 3 Buchu seeds is plenty. I grabbed 7 juice, so we will get 7 vials. So a big thing you can do as you're improving at solos is do something called a no prep. You get enough potions from the raid, and I have enough right now that I could easily do Ulm with that. But as you're inexperienced, you're taking a lot more damage at Ulm, and you're going to want to prep early. Okay? So as you learn and get better, you start to learn the methods that allow you to stop prepping, basically. Okay, and I got the 7 I want. That's it. All right, we're going to go into Ulm again. I'm going to try to explain 4 to 1 on the go as we go again. Hopefully Ulm cooperates a little bit more this time. So I'll just explain how I'm getting into 4 to 1 each time, and hopefully we see each possibility. Start with Hammy. Hammer again. We hit it. Run to the side so we get him turned all the way. Make sure we're on accurate. Run here. Wait for him to be about to turn. And then click. And now we're in cycle. And the reason I didn't heal a ton there is because I was about to get overload heal. Oh, I lost a tick trolling. So just skip the hit if you ever do that. Your thrall still attacks, so that's good. Otherwise, it would splash and it would turn to the middle and hit you. I don't care, Fergie. I don't care. Does this only work with 4 tick weapons? Yes. So Shadow has a different method. Will you explain flame skips? Yeah, I'll try to do that more this time. So the phase we have is acid. It tells you in the chat, but I also have a plugin that just tells me what phase it is. He's either acid, crystal, or flame, and that dictates what kind of attacks he's going to use throughout the phase.
A leech has spawned.
So in this case, it's acid. So I attacked a tick after his turn. Okay, it's crystals. So we're going to do 2 more attack tanks. And a run. So anytime you see a special, it's take 2 more hits and then run, and you're in 4 to 1. I can throw in flicks. I kind of know what I'm doing. Easy peasy. Make sure that you're changing your protection prayer whenever you see an attack that's different than what you're praying, because he's most likely to use the same attack in a row. Here's an acid run. You normally would just walk this off and get back into cycle while you're learning.
A leech has spawned.
I'm just going to spam brew. Nothing wrong with that. Well, there's something wrong with that, but... Oh no, I fucked up and I broke my cycle. Oh, what do I do? Well, it's 30 health, so let's just kill it. Or go to the thumb. See what he's doing. I would have done a 3 to 1 there to get back into it. So if you lose it and it's like 100 health, you can just kill it, but... Ew, ow. Crystals. Heal while you're between phases. Always good, because then you lose less damage. We're going to start with a hammer. Someone mage throw? Okay, it's crystal this time. We missed the hammer. That's okay. It's just going to be slow. Wait for the head to turn. Click.
A leech has spawned.
And we're in it. You can always do boot takeoff if you want. If you're going to do takeoffs, I would recommend equipping them at about 100 health left so you don't like have to awkwardly add them to your switch. And just major them for like the last little bit of health. Are you walking in between your first mage and your second? You can just throw in walking a little bit to save run energy. It's a little optimization you can do. But you don't have to. You could full run it. So you could run to here. And run to here. It just wastes a little bit of run energy. That's the only reason I'm doing that. So I equip the boots because I'm ready to kill this. Equip melee weapon. Summon zombie. He turns attack. What's he do? Attack? Nothing. I'm in 4-1. Easy. Just like that. So when he attacks you and just stares at you, you're in 4-1 by default. Every time. That's always the easiest thing you can do. Let's resip this. Can you break cycle on purpose? Well, I could have, but now he's kind of too low. Well, fuck with it on P3. Oh, I didn't overload. Oops. Why do you run one tile above the thumb? This is a thing. This is like a tick you learn when you do raids. This is to avoid flame walls. Like this. It's just like a thing I do out of habit. It doesn't matter for Crystal Phase, because obviously he's not going to flame wall. Okay, cool. Ow. Heal between phases. Okay, so we'll do the cool trick. You can get into 4-1 instantly, and his hand can't cripple on P3. So summon zombie. Hammer. Attack. You could hammer there as well if you had 2. And just, as he turns, drag with it. We're in 4-1 now. And I'll just show that we are in 4-1. Okay. Let's say we mess something up, though. Everything's going wrong. Oh, gee whiz. I'm really screwing this up right now. Oh, I tanked a hit. Oh, God. Okay. Turn. Attack. Go to the thumb. Oh, it's portals. Oh, jeez. Oh, it's... Oh, man. Oh, he's doing crystals! It's over! Heal! Walk it off, relax. He's gonna do 4 attacks before this heal is off. Okay. Go to the thumb. Attack after he attacks. He did 2 attacks. I need to do a 3-1. 1, 2, 3. And we're in cycle. Just like that. Okay, so Ohm becomes hell if you don't know how to get into cycle quickly. Once you know how to get into cycle, you know everything is possible. It becomes pretty simple to fix things. So that's the big thing. Isn't it better to hit Mage Hand? You sure could. When you're learning, just walk it off. It's all right. Walk it off, get back into cycle. We're going to want to not kill that. He's going to hit us. Begin shadow running. Sorry. No way you portal me. That doesn't even pull me out of cycle. Easy game. That's a convenient location. Once you know you're in cycle, you can pull the protection prayer off as long as you're thralling. Because you're not going to take hits anymore. Stop walking. I think you can learn to do this immediately. Babies don't do that. I think babies should do that. Shadow Run with Trident. That is Giga. Okay. We're going to click the stamina. A really good thing to do is when you're about to do head phase, just heal up. It's really chaotic. And it's better to heal now than like on head phase. Okay, so we're overhealed for head phase. We're ready to go. Head phase is like the most dangerous part. Okay, we killed that. Killed the melee hand. All right. Swap into Bofa, summon range thrall. And we're going to move every time he's about to turn from the sides. So delay a little bit. It's a little awkward with Bofa. Let me think about how you do this. Okay. I think we're in it now. 29 is not humble. That's why I said heal up. 2 to 6? I think this is working. Yeah, this is fun. Can you explain this instead of running? Okay. I'm getting his head to turn all the way to the left before I get there. Like this. And I'm moving the instant he turns. I totally chanced. I'm going to spam brew. Just spam brew. It's chill. So I'm moving as his head is about to turn. Then I'm waiting for it to catch up. Move as it turns. We tank a hit in the middle. Wait for it to catch up. Move. Tank a hit in the middle. Wait for it to catch up. And you're going to repeat this. So a really common mistake is doing this. Do you see how his head turned all the way there? See, if I do this. Oh, now I'm taking a hit every time. So don't do that. Wait for him to catch up, and then move to the side as he's turning. Gotta fix my cycle. We've done it. We've done it. Any money? 400k. All right. Yeah, that's it. So the big thing, 4 to 2 pog, 4 to 2 pog. 4 to 2 is good enough. Doesn't matter. We still had 4 brews left, so chilling. Big upgrades. Let me talk big upgrades. Lightbearer is a common mistake people make. You have a lot of downtime between rooms. Lightbearer actually does barely anything for you. It's almost always better to camp a melee ring. So Berserker ring is going to beat a Lightbearer usually. And Ultor is really, really good. Bellator is good once you have Scythe, but don't worry about that. Okay? Ultor is good if you have it and you're using Lance. We like Ultor. All right? Lance as your melee weapon is probably the biggest upgrade. Like the biggest possible upgrade is Lance. So if you grind Hydra and you get that, it's going to speed up your ulms a lot. It's really good. Obviously, there's just general gear upgrades. Things like Virtus Ancestral are good. Pharaoh Gloves are great. Prims are great. Better melee armor is good. These are going to take up more space. But as you get better at the raid, you're going to need less supplies. And also, you're going to kill the bosses faster, which makes you need less supplies, right? So this is good. Sang. Sang is a massive upgrade. The reason Sang is a massive upgrade is because it heals you. The healing between... How often do you end a melee phase at like 40 health, right? You start maging immediately. The Sang can just put you back at full health. So Sang can save like 1 or 2 brews, literally. The Sang is massively helpful if you have that. Sang is really, really, really good. Sang is really big and Lance is really big, I would say. Those two are probably the biggest and most important things. Elder Maul obviously is amazing. If you end up getting that, like sick. Yeah, those are the main things. Those are the main things. Talk about the stupid wand. Oh! Jagex added a Dragonbane wand. You considered using it on this dragon boss with a mage dragon hand. Guess what? It's 1% better than a warp scepter. Put that shit away. Not only is it 1% better than a warp scepter, it's not because it requires you not use thralls. You have to use regular spellbook. Also assumes you have wrath runes, which you don't have on an Iron Man. It's garbage. Put it away. That might change in the future, but for now, it's garbage. Put it away. Completely dead content. Don't use that. By the way, not related to the video, if you're going to go learn rope, just do this. Like, if you're going to go learn rope skip, just go scout a rope and go do it. You can also learn the one for CM. You start from about here, like near the entrance. This is where you'd activate rapid heal. If you're not trying to learn Kirby skip, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything I'm saying. If you are, it's like rapid heal right here and run up. All right. I'm going to show you how to do a rope skip. For a rope skip, the typical for solo chambers is 2 P-neck. You need 2 P-necks. So I'm practicing this, right? We have an inventory full of P-necks and some stuff to heal with. P-neck! What does this do? I'm going to explain how this works so you like understand it a little more thoroughly, okay? P-neck. When this procs, when damage is coming at you, when the P-neck procs, that damage stops existing, okay? It deletes it. Any damage coming at you, it deletes. The first hit splat that hits you procs it and deletes the rest. So if a bunch of things hit you in the same tick, and you have a P-neck, only the first thing's going to hit you. It's going to proc it, give you health, and everything else gets deleted. All right? That means we can delete all the damage that's coming at us from these. For a typical solo chambers rope skip, this is not for CM. This is regular. Okay? We are going to pray ranged and augury. If you don't have augury, it'd be like piety. Max defense, basically. Before you cross the rope, you need to have at least 22 health. Why do you need 22 health? 23 health, I'm sorry. Why do you need 23 health? Guess what these guys max? 22. So you need at least enough to survive this guy's max hit. There's I believe, a 5% chance on any given rope that it fails. And the reason for this is if this hits you like a 2, not enough to proc the P-neck, and then you get hit the max hit, it'll kill you, right? So there's a small chance you just die. That happens sometimes. We cry. Believe it's a 5% chance it fails. Okay? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're wearing a Phoenix necklace. We're going to pray ranged and defense. We're going to cross. When we get to the other end, it's going to proc our P-neck. We're going to grab the crystal and come back, get a P-neck on before we cross, and then cross. This needs to be done very, very quickly. If you don't cross the tick you can, your P-neck's going to proc early. You know what happens when your P-neck procs early? You're going to start walking the rope like a dumbass, wearing no Phoenix necklace. And then you're going to take 800 damage when you exit the rope, okay? So you need it not to proc early. All right, so let's do one. Okay. Ding, ding, ding. Cross. Then we're going to run to the gate, and we're going to spam brew. Ding, ding, ding. Because you still tank these hits. All right? So that's a rope skip. There you go. We can do it a couple more times. Okay, we're back. So what you saw last time is my necklace didn't proc instantly. This is a thing that happens when you're really healthy. That means I took all 8 hits, and I didn't get to P-neck range, right? But then the next set of hits put me there. Okay? So if you're really healthy, you want to wait on putting the P-neck on because it's not broken yet. You can't equip it yet. So you want to do it as you come back. My cues for this, because the clicks are really fast. XP drop is the instant the tick begins that you can click to the keystone. Okay? So the instant you see XP, that's your cue that you can click the crystal. You have to wait on the crystal a tick or so. It's a little awkward. There's a delay. You can't immediately click off the crystal because you have to get up to it and grab it. If you run up to it and then run away from it without grabbing it and then cross back, you're going to cry because you're not going to have a crystal. So that will be depressing. Wearing a P-neck. We're looking for that XP drop. Click. Click. Click back. So my cue when I click back is True Tile Update, click P-neck, click Rope. Okay, so that's my cue for that as well. All right, and we made it. I think that's it. I think we went over everything. Good night to YouTube. I hope this helps you in your raids. It was kind of chaotic at the Ohms. Sorry, but this is the best we can do. Unlucky. Also, fuck YouTube chat. On God.